What's going on, guys? I'm Jaye the Black. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I want to talk about this story. This story actually has me upset. You know, when I first saw this article, I'm not gonna lie. I saw this trending on Ryan Coogler trending on Twitter. I shared it to my Twitter, and he talked about moving on because I thought people were going to use this headline in order to sort of push a race narrative. But when I actually looked at some of the comments and then went and read the article, I realized that it wasn't some alt-right conservative Trump supporter who doesn't like black people that claimed Ryan Coogler was being a bank robber, but it was actually a pregnant black woman, this is according to TMZ, that was accusing Ryan Coogler of trying to rob the bank. Now, when I read the slip, because you know how you go into banks and you have to fill out a slip to let them know if you're going to be depositing, whether you're going to be withdrawing, right? When I read the slip that he gave this woman, there was nothing in that slip that said, I want you to give me all your money, don't say nothing. What he basically said was, I want to withdraw this amount of money out of my account, and I want it to be discreet, because I believe he didn't want anyone to know he was there. Because I believe he's in Atlanta filming Black Panther 2, which makes it even worse that he would get arrested in Atlanta and for mistaken identity for being a robber, but by a black woman nonetheless. Because y'all know they love to push this narrative that alt-right Trump supporters are just out here targeting black people. You had a black woman who tried to accuse this man. Because again, when you go into some of these banks, you got to have a mask. So he's wearing a mask because it's not mandated, but it's their policy. It's a requirement. There was nothing there that should have indicated any type of threat. What this shows you is that there are black women who have a disdain towards black men. And we have talked about it on YouTube, and people like to act like we're making it up, that we're lying, that that's not true. This story makes it true. And we're going to get into this. Handcuffed. We're going to get into this. And I'm going to tell y'all why this validates a lot of what I have said and what others have said as well. Bank staffers mistakenly thought Ryan Coogler was staging a robbery, so they called the cops, and the famed director actually ended up in handcuffs briefly. According to an Atlanta PD report obtained by TMZ, Coogler was detained after stopping in a Bank of America to make a transaction back in January, a completely legal transaction. Because see, you got to go into the bank. You can't just drive up to the window and do this anymore. You have to go into the bank. So he had to go in there. A completely legal transaction, mind you, but that's not how one teller took it. Coogler walked in rocking shades and a CV-19 face mask, not uncommon of course, but he handed the teller a withdrawal slip that had a note written on the back. It says, I would like to withdraw $12,000 cash from my checking account. Please do. With this note, he's saying, I would like to withdraw $12,000 cash from my checking account, and he wants to be discreet about it. I don't see anything here that's going to say, hey, you know, give me all your money and don't tell anybody, or I will light this place up. I don't see it. We're told his message read, I would like to withdraw $12,000 cash from my checking account, please. Please do the money count somewhere else. I would like to be discreet. Because you know how when you go into banks, I don't know if any of you have noticed this, right? But when you go into a bank, they will count the money while you're standing there. Instead of them going behind the wall or to a different area, they will go get the cash and they will count it while you're standing there, right? Because what they don't understand is when a man is withdrawing money out of his account, you could literally set that dude up to get robbed, because somebody could be sitting in that bank who don't have $12,000 and they see this woman or whomever counting the money right there in front of them. They're gonna be like, oh. So I think Ryan Coogler's like, hey, you know, go somewhere else, count the money, and then come back. I don't want you standing there just counting a whole bunch of money like that. right? So that's basically what he was saying. Understandable, considering the amount of money he was getting, but this led to the teller thinking something suspicious was going down, and the cops were called for an attempt robbery. Oh my God, man. When officers arrived, they detained 2 people waiting outside for Ryan in an SUV, and then went in and brought Ryan Coogler himself out in handcuffs. After an investigation, the police said this was all just a huge mistake, and the fault lies with the BOA employee, who described in the report as a pregnant black woman. Y'all see that? It's ain't an alt-right Trump supporter Republican who doesn't like black people. It was some black pregnant female who probably does not like black men, even though she's probably pregnant by one, who did this. This was all her doing. This was her disdain and distrust of black men. So she wanted to protect her master's bank by accusing this man who's innocent, who was just trying to get his money and leave, of trying to rob this place. And y'all wonder why the perception is out there that there are black women that don't like black men? Y'all wonder why that perception is out there? You do this to yourself. This ignorant heifer, instead of her doing her job, she thought something suspicious was going on. She had to protect her boss's, her master's bank, in her mind, by thinking that this black man, again, this is Atlanta. I don't know what part of Atlanta this was in. This is Atlanta, people. I know they see black people with money all the time, black men, black women, but for some reason, she thought that he was trying to rob the place. Now, there are some articles that are trying to omit this, but Ryan Coogler's reaction and him wanting to move on from this basically validates that that's what it was. According to the report, when the teller went to make the transaction on her computer, it triggered some sort of an alert. So she told her boss Coogler was attempting to rob the bank. Oh my God, you cannot make this up. And I bet you her boss was white. How many of y'all want to bet that this female's boss was white? This is pathetic. And they called 911. In the end, cops realized this was a screw up and Ryan had actually done nothing wrong. Sounds like Ryan wasn't too pleased. The report notes he asked for badge numbers of all the responding officers once everyone was released. He's been in GA a lot over the past year, filming the sequel to Black Panther, which itself has been a drama-filled process with cast injuries and alleged CV conspiracy talk. And now this. Well, let me say this about Ryan Coogler, man. Bro, instead of getting the badge number of the officers and blaming the police officers, you need to blame that heifer who alerted her boss that you were trying to rob the place. Why would you blame the police? The police had nothing to do with this. It was that female, that black female that was your bank teller that went back and told her bank that you were trying to rob from them. That's who you should be mad at. You should make sure she gets fired. She should not have a job. She almost ruined your reputation, ruined your life over what she perceived to be a threat to her master's bank. And you want to get upset at the police who are just doing their job. Y'all see what I'm saying? This is why he wants to move on from this. And this is one of the things that really upset me, is the fact that you want to blame the police for doing their job instead of you blaming the heifer who alerted the police, who has no respect for you as a man, who wanted to get you locked up. You want to blame the police. You should have told the bank to fire that heifer who called the police on you. They always want to blame the police when the police get there. The police would have never been there if they wouldn't have called the police on you, sir. This is what I'm talking about. This is one of the fundamental issues we have in our society, is that instead of him holding the person accountable who did this, he want badge numbers. And I'm not saying they didn't. Maybe they did fire her. Maybe they did fire her. Let's go to the update. They had an update on here. Let's speak about it. Ryan Coogler tells TMZ the situation should have never happened. However, Bank of America worked with me and addressed it to my satisfaction, and we have moved on. Now, I don't know if this woman has been fired. She should not have a job. I don't care if she's pregnant. She tried to get this man locked up. Did they fire her? Did they suspend her without pay? He said they did to his satisfaction. Like, what did they do? Did they put $12,000 into your account as sort of like a good faith gesture to give you a line of credit? I mean, did they waive any fees? I mean, what did they do? I mean, he doesn't have to tell me, you know, but I think this is a sad situation, man. This should have never happened. This should have never happened. And I believe he wants to move on because he does not want to have to deal with the truth. And the truth is that there was a black woman that thought that low of him, that he would want to rob the bank, and she is the reason why he ended up in that situation that he ended up in. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure you like this video and share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll see y'all next one.